Hello Pisces, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you guys here. We're going to dive in with your reading. I do love to begin my readings by thanking those of you who have been around, who have watched a lot my videos and commented and subscribed and liked and shared. I really appreciate your support on my channel. For those of you who may be joining us for the first time or one of the first times, welcome. I'm really happy to have you here. I hope you find a message that resonates with you, and if you do, you'll hit that subscribe button. Stay around, hang out with us. We're pretty cool over here. But gosh, guys, I'm going to dive right in, see what messages Spirit has for you. Just keep in mind they are general readings. This is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. For Pisces, please, Spirit, what do you have for Pisces? What do you have for Pisces? Pisces, the first thing I notice is that I see 3 2s. You have 22 and you have 2. So there's some kind of choice, some kind of decision, maybe even a coupling or a pair happening here. Pisces, I keep getting this feeling in your energy of, it's like, man, if you believe it, it is possible. This tall tale card is giving me this, oh, right, you're going to serve me up this person on a platter who is healed, who is ready for a relationship, who wants the same things I want, who shares my same vision, who is going to collaborate and work equally with me to create it. Yeah, right, I've got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. I've got, I don't know, snow in Antarctica. I don't know. It's like there's something here where I feel even like these like little sparks around here, or these little stars. It's like your wish fulfillment is never out of the question. This card is a 35, which is an 8, which is abundance. There's an energy of you get to have what you want, Pisces. Like, sometimes in life it all does work out. So I'm getting this energy of, this feels a bit like manifestation, but it's like pre-manifestation energy. It's like finding it with a space within myself to believe that it's possible, to believe that this exists and that it's out there and that it's for me and that I'm worthy of it. It's like when you believe that you're worthy of something and when you believe something is out there, you live your life that way. And it looks different than the way you live your life when you don't believe it, and when you aren't sort of preparing yourself for this to arrive. When you're preparing for this to arrive, you're ready for it when it comes. You know what I mean? Because you believe that it was possible. If it shows up and you're not ready for it, then there's that whole herky-jerky, okay, we'll be together and then we'll break apart and then we'll be together. And every time we do that and sort of, takes away from the foundation, I feel like, of the connection. It's like, oh yeah, but that one time when you did that, or I discovered you were capable of that. It's like you want to be your highest and best for the highest and best moment of your life, It is like, Pisces, what I feel like is this period in your life, it's the beginning of a new cycle, and it's the beginning, you're setting the tone, you're setting the pace, you're setting the kind of the projected possible outcome right now. And it's like, believe in the impossible. Now is the moment. With this roots of abundance and beyond the ordinary, it starts here in the foundation. It starts in the roots. It starts with what you're planting in this new cycle. So it's like really important to make the choice to, kind of really sort of ask for what you want, or plan for what you want, or believe in what you want. Expect even. I hate that. I don't hate the word expect, but not like should. But it's kind of like when you believe that something is for you, and you believe you're worthy of it, and you believe that everything generally works out, and that in this universe there is more than enough. This is an abundant, benevolent universe. And that's the kind of ground that you plant your seeds in for this cycle. The things that you want to have happen, the things that you'd like to add into your life, then you're planting the seeds of abundance in a fertile environment. And when you do that, you get an extraordinary result. You see something appear, something come, right, from your mind almost into reality. And that's what we see here with this tender embrace. This is where in physicality we find each other. In physicality we meet up. In physicality this comes together. There is definitely something about someone coming into your life in physical reality that you have a different level of chemistry or relationship, or I don't even know what I want to say about it, but it's like there's something about the actual physical aspect of this relationship that first of all, I mean, for me, it's telling me it shows up in physical reality. This isn't something on the 5D or, I mean, it may be something that we work out on the 5D or is initiated, on the 5D, but this is something that actually manifests in physical reality. It's not something that we're waiting for or having a premonition about. Like, all those things may happen, but this actually materializes. So, you have this inner work energy here, and it says heal yourself first and you'll attract what you are. Choose partners that want to grow with you. This is kind of what I was saying about believing that this is there for you, that this is already written in the stars for you, that this is already yours. That there is someone, coming in who you can grow with, who you can, experience something beyond what you have experienced before with, it's that energy of being ready when it shows up, right? Because when we're not ready, we have a whole lot of these energies where, our triggering issues. Like, first of all, money issues is really, it's representational of a lot of things. It doesn't, money is an energy, it's a currency, right? So another currency that we have is time. Another currency that we have is energy. You know, when we're talking pentacles, we're not just talking about money. We're talking about energy. We're talking about time. We're talking about all those things that are resources that we have, right? And that are required for us to kind of build things in our life. And you know, when we are someone who doesn't want to spend time by ourselves, you know, that a lot of times is symbolic of, you know, unhealed trauma. It's like we don't want to be by ourselves because we don't want to be alone with our thoughts. We don't want to be alone to analyze or to fall down the rabbit hole or to feel or to whatever. So we'll kind of keep ourselves busy and maybe in a lot of superficial ways, and maybe that even creates our money problems. But there's just this energy of we want to have the resources. We want to be able to say, you know what, I have space for you in my life. I have time for you and I have energy for you. And I want to focus on this and I want to see what happens here. You know, if you're running both ways but Sunday and you don't have, as my dad would say, a pot to piss in, then you are not in a really good energy to be meeting someone. So this is definitely one of those things where I feel like this is saying, you know, you kind of want to get your ducks in a row. And because, you know, if something is meant for you, it's still going to be for you. It's just that it's going to take some twists and some turns. Like, you're going to have to realize that, like, oh, wow, this person does exist. Oh, wow, this is real. Oh, wow, I wasn't ready for this. Oh, wow, I wasn't as healed as I thought I was. Oh, wow, you know, I really, you know, I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I have no, or I have filled my social calendar full of all of these superficial events, and now this person wants to spend time with me, and I've got to, I don't have time to spend. Or, you know what I mean? It's, you know, or, you know, my job is so intense and has been for so long that I'm just literally so exhausted that I just cannot focus to pay attention, or I can't do one more thing. And even though I'm looking forward to talking to this person at the end of the day, I'm so exhausted I fall asleep. It's like, get rid of the toxic job. Get rid of the toxic friendships. Get rid of the things in your life that are taking up space, that aren't really giving to you, but are just occupying your time. Find something else to do, you know, like that is, you know, healing or healthy, or, you know, that is giving something back to you, that is enriching your life in some way, that is actually fueling your energetic reserves. I used to be that way. I'm a Libra, so I like had a ton of friends. I would go out all the time. I would be exhausted, but I would be like, oh no, I'm still gonna go. And I would be like managing, you know, my kids' schedule, my husband's schedule, like everything. And I really, and my parents and my siblings, and I was exhausted. I was so exhausted. And when I started, you know, looking at my schedule, you know, and my mom got sick, and there was one person, one of those friends, one, who really honestly showed up for me. She came to the hospital. Well, she is actually, though, like, my best friend. But she came to the hospital and was like, listen, you need to go home and take a shower. Like, you need to be a human being again. Like, this is, you've been here for a week. Like, go home and I'll stay with your mom. And, you know, so like a lot of times those things that we are giving all of our energy to and showing up for, and, you know, I like sat on committees and I volunteered and I just did so much stuff. And I volunteered in my kids' classrooms. I mean, I just did a lot of stuff. And then I was traveling to New York to work and like coming home exhausted. And, you know, so when I started eliminating those things from my life, and I started including things like taking a hot bath before I went to bed, like just showing myself a level of kindness and like carving out a moment for myself, nothing dramatic, nothing over the top, no craziness. I remember that's when I started like caring about my skincare. It was like I didn't even notice how much I was aging from just running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And it was like I looked in the mirror, I was like, wow, man, you have gray hair, you have wrinkles, like what is going on here? And it was like I didn't even notice it happening because I was just so busy. And it was really like I also just didn't have time to deal with it, even if I did notice it. You know what I mean? I remember like telling my mom one day, like how she was saying to me, man, you need a haircut. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I just don't have time to get a haircut. Like I literally cannot fit one in. And she was like, that's a problem. You need to get a haircut. So, you know, I literally, you know, we get ourselves into those places, but when we are in those places, when we just look at our schedule and we go, you know, that really isn't necessary, or you know what, like I need to step away from my role here, or I need to step away from this place in my life, or you know, I like, because my family system was very toxic, I had, you know, like a codependent sister and a narcissistic brother, and you know, and those relationships were extremely draining, and actually really took a lot of time and a lot of energy and took a lot out of me. And you know, in my family, you weren't allowed to have a boundary. Like you could say I have a boundary, but no one would ever respect it, and people would like chastise you for even having it, and be like, you know, I don't even know how to describe it, but, and I don't even want to go into it, but you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, when you start claiming your life back and you start recognizing your time and your resources as valuable, and where you're putting them and what you're spending them on as being really important, and only wanting to do, and only, you know, kind of paying into the things that are reciprocal, you know, and you know, I love volunteering. I absolutely love it. And I do find that it's reciprocal. Just the feeling that I have in my heart after I walk away from having been helpful to someone is worthy of the experience, right? But I can't just fill my schedule entirely with volunteer hours. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I have nothing to give that unless I have something to give myself, unless I've taken care of myself. And so there is, you know, it's looking at the total picture, but it's also looking at each individual thing and saying, you know, how much of the pie does this have? Is that a worthy thing? You know, because there is an energy here where it's almost like you need time to focus on this magical mindset. You need time to focus on shifting the way that you're thinking, or the way that you're seeing things, or the way that you're kind of it may even be like a sense of direction or a plan, or you know, what you're manifesting or what you're visualizing. It's like really creating time for that, because it almost feels to me like whatever's coming drops into that space, but you have to have that space in order to have something new to drop in. You can't be living your life at the same way you were living your life and expect things to change. It's like you have to make the changes ahead of time. You have to start preparing and kind of living as if, right? So this is like your strategy, right? And I remember as I started freeing my calendar, as I started, you know, stepping away from certain things and stepping away from certain people and giving less access to people, was it hard? Yeah. And like, does it feel like you're riding a surfboard and that, you know, sometimes you're going to capsize? Absolutely. You know, I know, especially if you guys are dealing with toxic family members or toxic, you know, relationships, even with work or whatever, people don't like it when you start saying no, when you've always said yes, and it will create problems. But those problems are progress. Those problems are, you know, I'm finally dealing with something that maybe I should have dealt with a while ago, or, you know, and there's also this knowledge of, if you are holding a boundary for your health, for your well-being, so that you can be the highest and best for every situation that you show up for, and someone has a problem with it, boy, is that not a glaring red flag. Boy, does that not tell you an awful lot about your relationship with that person, that place, that thing, that whatever. Because, when someone really loves you and really cares about you, they're like, oh man, thank God, I was getting worried about you. I knew you needed to take a break. I knew you'd been burning the candle at both ends for far too long. You know what I mean? That's what supportive, loving people sound like. When people get angry with you and are, and like, I don't know, mean is the word that's coming to mind to you about it, then it really says that maybe that wasn't a valuable use of your time to begin with, and maybe instead of giving less time, it might be even going to a place where you give no time. In which case, God is weeding your garden, All right, let's see what's up. You definitely have love coming in, and you're definitely preparing your life for it. And if this is where you already know this person, or you're already in this relationship, you may be figuring out how to come together on a deeper level, maybe how to live together, maybe how, if you are far from each other, how to travel to see each other. There is just an energy of looking at the bigger picture, and wow. Pisces, this is like, first of all, I feel like this is a healing journey that you start on your own, but I feel like someone comes in and like takes you home, like helps you on, like even intensifies your healing path here. You have health issues. It came out in reverse. I do feel like for some of you, there is this big messaging here where I feel overburdened even in this reading. And sometimes at this time of year, it is something that happens. We typically are adding things into our schedule, like holiday parties, holiday shopping, holiday food, prepping, planning, whatever. Whatever it is that you're doing at this time of year, it's usually kind of heavy. And at least where I live, the days are getting very short. And so there's just a tiredness that comes on earlier in the evening. It's like you get less done, you're lazier, you know what I mean? And with this health issues in reverse, there's sort of this energy of just honoring it, of just recognizing it and recognizing the need for rest and the need, like if you're tired, that to give into it, to really care for yourself and nurture yourself here, like physically. You have this heart chakra energy, and it says it's time to open your heart and allow your heart to heal from the past pain you've endured. I feel like you've been doing that. I actually feel like this is the end of a cycle. You have this stuck energy, and then you have let go of the outcome and let life unfold naturally. Sometimes in life we feel like we're stuck, or we feel like we can barely see the light at the end of the tunnel, or we feel like, man, I've been on this path, this journey of healing forever, and it's like, I'm happy that I've done it. I'm happy that I've been on it. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I've expanded a lot. But like, man, when is this going to be over? Like, I'm ready for some excitement in my life, And I think oftentimes at those points in time, we can sometimes realize that we're a lot closer to the excitement than we realize, or how do I want to say it? It's like sometimes the excitement is just right on the other side of that breath, and we don't know it. We never know, when something radical is going to come into our life and change it. It happens in the blink of an eye. I know I've told the story on here how, I literally went to visit my grandma, and I was staying with her, and I rode horses. My horse got sick, and I went to the grocery store and got a job so I could pay my vet bill. And it just so happened at that moment, my husband, my now husband, he wasn't at the time, I didn't know him. became the new like assistant manager of the place the grocery store that I worked at. And he turned out to be my husband. And let me tell you, I wasn't expecting any of that. I was just going to visit my grandma, you know? So it's like, we have no clue when it's going to drop into our lap. And I think that is a lot of what this reading is about, is like, it could come in any moment. And in fact, it's probably way closer than you think. And it's like, here are the small tweaks you can make in your alignment that are going to make it better. Either make it come faster or make it more seamless when it does drop in, when it does come in. It's going to, you're creating the fertile ground with which to grow your abundance. You know, this is the roots of your abundance in your life. And what you're doing is trying to create something extraordinary. And so you're not just living daily life. You're not just waking up, doing your thing and going to bed. I mean, you can do that, but you can also say, what can I do today for me tomorrow that's going to make my life a better place for this to happen? You know, and then it's like, okay, you know. On the bottom of the deck, you have spiritual factors. Your love life is influenced by your spiritual path. I mean, yeah, that's what I feel like I've just been saying. It's like, the more you take care of yourself, the more you, the more you pay into the future that you want and the life that you want, and the more that you focus on it, and the more that you buy into it, that yeah, it's happening. And honestly, when you start taking steps towards it, like creating space for it and all these things, it is happening. It's 100% happening. And it's only a matter of time before you really see it manifesting in the material world. Because they may be a small step, like, okay, let me make, 5 minutes here. Let me say no to this. Let me move away from this connection that's always really draining and makes me feel like crap when I walk away from it. Let me do this. Let me do that. And let me fill these moments where I was doing things that weren't really very productive, scrolling on my phone, like with, reading a book instead, or getting curious about something that I want to learn. All those things are talking points. Like if you read a book, oftentimes, like when I'm talking to my friends, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm reading this book and listen to this, or I think you would love this book, or this author also does a show on HBO and and I'm really loving this book, or like I was kind of like, what's happening? But you know what I mean? Like these are all things that make you interesting. These are all things that are productive conversations. We can always get together and talk about people that we know in common, but what is that phrase? Like, some kind of people talk about people and other kind of people talk about ideas and all these things. And I'm just like, I like to be an ideas person. But I don't know, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, these are just examples, but I'm just saying it's like, or, like get up a half an hour earlier and go take a yoga class, or try pottery, or if there's something there that you've always wanted to do or you've always wanted to look into, start looking into it. Start saying, I'm determined to live the life that I desire. I'm determined to have all these things, or to be all these things, or to explore all these things. And even if it requires money and you don't have the money, Google the shit out of it. Google it, get a spiral notebook or something and Google it and write all these things down. You're going to start manifesting it, and you'll find the money will start coming. It will start appearing. You'll start being like, oh, wow, you know what? I have a little extra money. I'm going to invest in this. And I know this is what I need because I've done all this research. Also, maybe you get a cup of coffee every day and you're like, man, you know what? I love this cup of coffee, but I can make coffee at home. I could save that $2 or $3 or $4 or however much coffee is. Actually, gosh, I got coffee the other day. It was like $7. I was like, what in the world? But you know, you'll start reprioritizing. You'll start reorganizing because you're really looking at it. You have everything out in front of you and you're looking at it. It may even be that for some of you, if you take a class or you do something, that might be actually even where you meet someone. All right, this is interesting energy to begin with here, Pisces. So when you create a life that you really want, like when we talk in terms of the Nine of Pentacles, that's not out here, but it takes a long time to get there. It's like, it's something where, you know, day after day, I'm putting effort and energy into creating this life of abundance, which is what we've been talking about here. But it takes so long to cultivate it, and it takes so long to build it, and it's such hard work, and you've invested so much in it, that when someone comes along and, you know, wants to try to convince you to go for the 10 of Pentacles with them, you think about it long and hard. You think about the sacrifices you made to get to the 9 of Pentacles, and whether or not the 10 of Pentacles is actually something that you really, whether it's worth the risk, whether this is a really good candidate. Can you really see it with this person? And it's not like, well, what else do I have to lose? You know, what else do I have going on? I might as well give this person a shot. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, I see some red flags, but, you know, I think it's okay. I think I can work around it. You know what I mean? Or, yeah, but, you know, any of that kind of energy. It's like, it's not worth the sacrifice because it was so hard. It was such an investment for you to get there, and it took so much effort and energy. And a lot of times we don't consider these things in life. When we're making choices, we tend to be like, well, look how abundant I am. You know, even if this doesn't work out, I'm still going to be this abundant. We don't consider the toll it will take on us, you know, to go through this experience and then to potentially recover from it, you know, if it doesn't go well. So, and it's not like we're supposed to live our life in fear or whatever, but it is something where, you know, we have a tendency to be like, I have more than enough, so I'll take this risk, you know, instead of saying, well, I covet my life the way that it is, and so this person needs to earn their way in. We have a King of Wands on the bottom of the deck, and I feel like this is someone who's kind of focused on you, Pisces. It could be a fire sign. You have the Queen of Cups, but in between the Queen of Cups and the King of Wands, you have this Queen of Swords. And it's that Queen of Swords energy is like that energy of the thought of, wow, it's, you know, it has taken me a long time to get into this energy, and I don't want to just allow anything to come in, because the wrong thing coming in will undo all this hard work I've done. So there's something here about investing in yourself, also recognizing your worth and your value, and coming to the place in your life where you really truly believe that you deserve what it is you are seeking, what it is that you want, and that there is someone out there that is meant to appreciate what you're bringing to the table, to see you, to understand you, to feel the love that you have to offer, and to return that love to you. And with that Queen of Swords in between, it's kind of like, but there's this energy of discernment. Are you a good candidate? I know what you see, what you think you want, and you're ready to take action and come after it. But are you a good candidate for me? Yes, so. Wow. Okay, so you have the Queen of Cups is being clarified by the Two of Wands, and the Queen of Swords is being clarified by the Nine of Swords, the Sun, and the Four of Pentacles. So, and then you have the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So, for me, this is like, there's an energy with the Sun and the Nine of Swords of, how do I want to say it? Okay, let me try it like this. So the Four of Pentacles is an energy of like protection. It's an energy of, you know, not necessarily letting things in. It's like I'm guarding what is important to me, or I'm holding on to, and I'm not necessarily open to opening up and being vulnerable. I'm sort of protective. I'm in a protective mode here. But it's not the way this energy is coming across is it's a healthy. It's, you know, I've worked really hard to build this foundation. I'm not going to just, I know better than to just let anyone in. This is kind of like a healthy boundary or kind of a strategy for even, you know, like the beginning of a relationship. It's like, even if I really like this person and even if they're not showing me any red flags, there's just this energy of not being completely accessible. It's like I've learned my lesson, you know, or it's not even that I learned my lesson. I've created a space that I really love, and that, you know, I've created a space of happiness for myself, and I need to protect it. And I need to make sure that someone's going to actually add to that happiness before I open this door and let them in. You know what I mean? And with the Nine of Swords, it's like I want to make sure that this energy of discernment isn't coming from an energy of fear. It's coming from this energy of, you know, healthy boundaries. You know what I mean? Of like, you don't, like, I don't know why, but the Trojan horse is coming into my mind. It's like, I don't know why. Because they weren't afraid of the Trojan horse. Oh, it may be that it's like you do know you are protective until something becomes clear to you. That like sometimes things are not what they seem to be. And so you'll hold a healthy boundary until you're sure. This is about protecting our happiness, and we don't want to protect our happiness at the expense of our happiness. In other words, we may have created a life that where we are happy, where we're experiencing the Nine of Cups, you know, emotional contentment on our own, but our goal or our hope or our dream may be to have the Ten of Cups. And we don't want to say, well, you know what, I've found emotional happiness on my own, and even though I want the Ten of Cups, I'm happy on my own, so I'm just not going to face my fears in order to like open up to accept a potential possibility of the Ten of Cups, because it might cost me the Nine of Cups. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to, they're discerning energy is a very fine line, right? It's a fine line of not acting out of fear, but acting out of a healthy boundary and allowing something to really show you very clearly what it is and who it is and what it's about. And it is coveting your own happiness and creating and fostering a life where you are not willing to just let anyone or anything in. With the Queen of Cups being clarified by the Two of Wands, it's definitely ultimately at the end of the day kind of your authentic decision. Like, can you see yourself being with this person, or can you see yourself, you know, being happy? Do you feel better off when you're with this person or when this person is close by? With the Two of Wands, this particular card, you know, these two, this unicorn and this dog are actually chained to these trees. But I am feeling this energy of like, there may be an element of we are different, because a dog is different than a unicorn kind of energy here, and one is dark in color and one is light in color. So there's this energy of like, we may actually physically be different, or we may be coming from two different worlds, or I don't know, but something has gotten us to cross paths. Something has gotten us in the same place at the same time for a period of time. Like, it might even be that, like, you're not from the area you're in, and they're not from the area that you're in. But something like a work obligation or whatever has you in that area for a period of time. You might not have otherwise ever met. How interesting. There's something here about distance. Some of you literally may be traveling for work, or you may even be communicating from a distance about work or some kind of collaboration. And the communication may just go incredibly well. Like, it may just be like easy conversation, like back and forth conversation, you know. It may even be like kind of a smooth running project, or something that where it's like everyone is sort of impressed by how quickly it's moving in a direction. There's celebration around it. You have 3 threes showing, and I'm not really getting third party situation, although for some of you it could be. It can be someone that is at a distance from you because of a third party situation, and they may be reaching out to communicate, to kind of try to bridge the gap or to close the distance. Some of you, there is travel involved here. With these 3 threes, threes are any trinity. They can be a third party, but they can also be like a trinity, like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Masculine, feminine, and the divine. Body, mind, and spirit. Yes, what is this? There, some of you, this is definitely some kind of work centered situation with the 3 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles. Those are very strong, like, work environment kind of issues here. I honestly feel, you know, you have this spiritual factors card, And now you have these 3 threes. Well, and then you have there's this juxtaposition in all of the cards that you've been getting where there's like this very physical manifestation element, and then there's this very kind of like ethereal, conceptual, spiritual kind of energy. So it's like it feels like either something that is being manifested with these wands, the 2 of wands and the 3 of wands, or it's something where it's almost as if you cannot even question. It's like fate definitely was at play here, or the divine was definitely at play here, or the angels were bringing this together. Like the divine was bringing together this masculine and this feminine. It's like it couldn't have happened any other way, or there's just you may be even looking in a completely different direction when this opportunity comes in. It's like you may be really focused possibly on your own life and really creating this life of abundance, or, you know, creating this fertile environment for your manifestations to like have a space to come into, you know, like we were talking about before. And it's like, boom, then all of a sudden it drops in, because that's really what happens. It really is what happens. Like you make room for it, and then here it comes in. There's this energy of, you know, working, putting the effort in, being mindful. You know, the 8 of Pentacles comes right before that 9 of Pentacles that we were talking about in the beginning. And it's like, I'm doing the work, I'm putting the effort in, I'm, you know, I'm, you know, creating this space in order to be able to collaborate, even to like share a vision, to share a plan, to, you know, to have energy and currency to give a situation. I'm creating the environment for it. Usually with the 8 of Wands, there is this energy of movement in the card, but like she's just sitting here. This bird is resting upon this wand. These wands aren't going anywhere. It's giving me this feeling that I got in the beginning of this reading, which is like, you don't know how close this is to you. Whether it's some kind of communication, some kind of opportunity, or some kind of travel. It's like, I feel you're not expecting it. And I feel like it's sort of hanging out here waiting for you. This is so interesting. The 3 of Wands with the Ace of Cups, it's like the best laid plans, you know? It's like I'm standing here, I'm really focused on my future, I'm really focused on manifesting, I'm focused on, you know, like I'm watching, I'm waiting for my ships to come in, and I'm just sort of standing here, and I'm really trying to put the best vibes and the best energy out about, you know, having what I desire come toward me. I'm trying to stand here and sort of imagine it all happening. I'm waiting for it to come in, you know, da 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 da. And here it comes from behind. Here it comes from the direction you're not even looking. You know what I mean? And it's just dropped into your life by the divine, just like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And it's like, it's right there, and it's so close, and you're like looking over here, and it's here, and it's here. You know what I mean? You're putting all this work and this effort in, and it's like right behind you. I don't know if you can see this, but there's this woman painting this tree, and right here there's someone right behind her. It's like it's just right there. And then you have this full card energy on the bottom of the deck, which is like, this is like, to me, what I'm getting from this particular full card is really listening when you feel guided to do something. Like, even if it's go to the dry cleaner and pick up your clothes right now, go right then. Whether it's, hey, I was going to walk around and explore a little bit, and I was going to drop this off and pick this up, and go when you go listen. Just be free to follow your intuition. Be free to follow that gut instinct, like, oh my God, the Ace of Cups again. So, wow. You absolutely have some kind of new beginning in love coming. For some of you, this is like, this is something, it's like you haven't met this person yet. You don't know where this is coming from yet. You're just out here trying to prepare your life so that you're ready for this. For others of you, it feels to me like you may have met this person, this thing may have kind of started off, but it's like, then you decided to prepare your life for it, or it can even be like, golly, Neds. Yeah, see, this is what I was thinking. Oh my God, you guys have 4 aces just right here. Yeah, see, okay. There's either there's a change happening, okay? And that change is bringing in an opportunity to explore the potential of an opportunity that the universe is giving you, okay? And I feel like it's in love. I feel like it's something that you really do desire strongly. For some of you, this is a past situation where you may have met this person, and it may be that neither one of you were ready for the connection, or one person wasn't ready, or there was something that it was like the timing was off. I feel like it's getting another chance. I feel like this is something that, if this is a past situation, there's a lot of regret around it. And I think that there is something where it's like, especially mentally, I wasn't ready to accept something. I wasn't ready to... It's kind of like with the Ace of Swords upright on top of the 5 of Swords in reverse. It's like I was focused on all the wrong things. It's like, instead of being really open to receiving an answer of clarity, I was trying to think it through. I was trying to control it. I was trying to manipulate it. I was trying to make it be a certain kind of way. And that doesn't work. I had to get to a place where I could let go and let it work out the way that it needed to, or the way that it wanted to, or even to let go, to let clarity actually come to me, to let the sort of, it's almost like the truth hit me. And that is that a situation could be successful. A situation could be victorious. It could move forward. So I don't know what, so you know, with Judgment and the Ace of Swords and the Five of Cups and the Five of Swords in reverse, this definitely can be a past person coming back around in a different energy, wanting another chance. For others of you, I think this is a brand new situation that is coming in divine timing at a specific moment. Things are really going to change. This can be something that you've already started, but it's like either one or both of you weren't prepared to really take it to the next level right away. It's like something had to continue to work out. There was a distance between the moment this entered your life and the moment that it was ready to come sort of like full circle, or to like have its kind of like big moment. Or like big moment, or, you know, moment of like where it was really ready to be fully accepted and integrated in the physical reality. I don't know how else to say it. It can be like we were at a distance, we were talking to one another, but it couldn't come together until a specific moment because one of us or both of us weren't actually really ready for it to receive it physically yet. There may have been practical matters that needed to be worked out. For some of you, if this is like a work situation, it may be where you're like communicating online for a while, and then it's like there had to be like an actual physical meeting. But it's like it was meant to be that way. It's like I keep getting, it couldn't have been another way. With the Four of Wands, this is serious. This is like, first of all, it's an intense spiritual connection, but second of all, this is like involving, at the very minimum, living together, if not marriage. I feel like you have the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Swords, and two Aces of Cups here. This is definitely Pisces, like either, like you're all on different timelines because this is a general reading, right? But this is either like something that you've been kind of preparing for without even realizing it, or it's something, and here it is. You know what I mean? Like, because with Pisces especially, this can be an intuitive process where it's like you're just sort of making these moves without, maybe without a lot of conscious intention behind it, but like intuitively, it's like, you know, you need to leave that job. Intuitively, it's like, you know, you need to save some money. Intuitively, you know, you need to go out and take that class. Intuitively, you know what I mean? And you're just sort of listening to your intuition and allowing it to guide you. I mean, that is the wisdom of your highest and best. So like that's always a good move, right? But you may not have realized that it was all culminating into this moment. And then it's like, there's this reveal of like, you meet this person, or, you know what I mean? Something happens and you're just like, oh, whoa, you know, like I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? Kind of an energy. Or this reading is telling you, like, if this feels very far away from you, you have no prospects, you're not, you feel kind of stuck. You feel like, I've been on this healing journey forever and I really want to just get off this ride and get onto a new one. I'm looking for more excitement, or I really want a change coming into 2025. Then it's really telling you, live as if that's coming January 1, 2025, and like spend this month, you know what I mean, making a move, a decision every day that takes you closer to where you want to be, or to what you want your life to look like, and it will appear. But recognize and realize that you're manifesting this new beginning the whole time, but these new beginnings are all around you. I mean, this is all in your energy. The Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups twice. You know, this can be, like I said, someone from your past coming back to have this conversation. They've had clarity. They know how to have success and victory in this situation, and they've made the changes. You know, they've released, you know, the need to control, or the need to manipulate, or the need to, you know, to kind of let their thinking mind rule their situation, rather than their, you know, opening up to the clarity of the universe, or the clarity of even their intuition, or their highest and best self. You know what I mean? So the Four of Wands is this card where what we have been manifesting shows up in real life, and that this is like throughout your entire reading. Like it's literally over and over and over again. I keep getting this messaging of making space so that what you're manifesting has space to land in your life, in the physical reality. Oh, here it is in physical reality. Oh, you're creating this environment so that this has a place to flourish and be abundant in physical reality. And a lot of that is mindset. You know, a lot of that is like really believing that it's possible, and really expecting it to come in, and really knowing that you're worthy. And you know, if you're struggling with that, I highly recommend mantras, and you know, just really asking yourself, you know, staying mindful in your life and living in the present moment, and saying, wow, what am I thinking right now? Are these thoughts serving me? Are these thoughts, you know, helping me get where I'm going? Are these thoughts in alignment with this vision that I'm holding for myself, or not? You know, and because you have the capacity to control your thoughts and your way of thinking. So, you know, with Judgment and the Wheel of Fortune here, this is saying that this is a fated moment in your life for you. You know, you do have the absolute ability to close out a cycle. A cycle is closing, and a new cycle is beginning. And it's very clear. And this cycle can be one of a great amount of success, and one where you really do get the opportunity to have what you desire, and one where there are new opportunities in love, even if it's with a past person, or even if it's with someone that you're actually sort of talking to or with right now. There can be a deepening level of commitment. There's a change that's coming that is like conducive to bringing in even more abundance, even more happiness, even more reasons to celebrate, even more kind of like uplifting even energy of oh man. I'm just gonna take, what is the best? You got some kind of major, yeah. There it is. You've got Death, you've got Six of Wands, Ace of Wands, and what is this? The Knight of Pentacles. You know, Pisces, this really is about, you know, this is just plotting. It is just like saying, I know that what I want is out there. I'm putting one foot in front of the other. I'm taking a small step in this direction every single day. This may even be someone that is actually on their way towards you, who is making very slow and calculated steps. Like they don't want to mess up. They really want this to be successful. They see in front of them something that they really, really want, and they want to be successful. And so they're being very deliberate and very slow. But this may be where there's a sudden shift, or where something really happens very kind of like quickly, that infuses this situation with new energy. With the Death card, this is like an ending and a rebirth, and you could not have more energy of a cycle closing and a cycle opening, you know, than you do in this reading. I mean, you have 4 aces, you know, so this can be something that may start off as a very slow moving energy, or it may start off as deliberate movement toward your goal here. This could be you with you. It doesn't have to be someone else coming towards you, but something is definitely going through a major transformation in your life. And it feels very much like it's going to be successful. And it is definitely bringing in new beginnings in love, new beginning that you truly desire, clarity, a conversation, communication. You're not stuck, and it's probably a hell of a lot closer than it feels or than it seems like it is at times here, Pisces. If you're dealing with a water sign, I want to feel that way again. I'm afraid to contact you, and I miss seeing you. If you are dealing with a fire sign, you're getting, I want to make amends. I compare others to you. I don't know what comes next. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you are getting, I know I was a distraction from your pain. I don't want to know. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what you want. For some of you, this may be closing out a cycle with a past person and welcoming in a new person. It definitely could be. I have trouble with intimacy. I want to start over. We don't share the same values. All right, Pisces, this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I love to hear from you. Until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always.